fourth power is our personal gifts. Our personal gifts, aka our callings, and if we don't know our callings or our personal gifts, our stirrings. I'm going to explain this a little bit because sometimes these words point to things and we don't, if it doesn't resonate, so I'm going to go a little deep in this one. There may be these things that are our personal gifts, our stirrings or callings, may bring us great joy, and they also may challenge us. Finding our calling or our personal gifts is not rocket science, but it does take a conscious dedication. Most of us have been living our gifts out much of our lives, whether we know them or not. But I'm here to say there is an incredible power, an active hope in cultivating an awareness of knowing your gifts, of treasuring what they might be. And or if you haven't, to feel drawn to activate them, to live them out somehow. The Dalai Lama said, "The planet does not need more successful people. The planet needs more peacemakers, healers, restorers, storytellers, and lovers of all kinds." Now, not all of us in here are gifted peacemakers, but there are many of us who may be healers and restorers. And if we do not act on these callings, we are not living our lives as fully as we could, or as we are needed. In the story for all ages about Poder had people around him, helping him cultivate his obvious gifts. But because many of us may not know exactly what those are, we need another measure of success than feedback from the gods or accolades from community. Not all of us are rainmakers. Some of us are excellent bakers, fathers, mothers, caretakers. Just so many different gifts. Phil Cousineau is a prolific writer, teacher, and host of my favorite television program, Global Spirit. Phil was mentored by Joseph Campbell, and he created the documentary and book about Joe's life, that's what Phil calls him, the book and film called The Hero's Journey. Most of us have heard the expression, follow your bliss. Well, Phil tells a story about when Campbell was explaining what he meant about following your bliss. It's a wonderful bumper sticker. He says that there was a piece of what Joe said that may have ended up on the editing room floor out of a mistake. He says, because especially for people who don't know what our bliss is, like bliss, that's just this thing. I find bliss a lot of places, but some people it's really hard. So Joe went on to say, and then this clip to the floor, follow your bliss, and if you don't know what that is, follow your fascination. Your fascination reveals your deepest connection to the life force. If you follow it, rather than what society tells you should follow, you will be all right. We each have an opportunity, regardless of our age or stage in life, to explore our curiosities. We may serve in careers that express parts of our gift, that we don't like. For example, for nearly 20 years, I was in marketing and public relations, writing and strategizing messages that would impact companies' sales and profits. Perhaps my gift is perception and use of words. I won't be so bold as to say what my gifts may be, as I'm sure I could not know until my dying day, although I am actively pursuing things that bring me joy and challenge. For me, I'm okay just acknowledging the things that stir me into exploration, play, and action. So after sharing these 4 gifts, perhaps you can contemplate these questions. How are your superpowers? How is your relationship with your presence? How does it feel to deeply listen to someone without responding? What actions are you taking to create the world you want to live in? What are your personal gifts? How does your life express your gifts or curiosities? Are you living on purpose? And if you feel stuck in sameness, are you challenging yourself and who you are becoming on a regular basis? Of course, we each have abundant gifts and blessings, many more than I've highlighted today. But today I wanted to spend a little time on our superpowers, personal powers that you can consider and possibly tweak as need be, to align, to feel more empowered, and perhaps more fulfilled during these transitional times as we move into the new story. To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth. I want to know what would happen if we opened ourselves up to this active hope field, this intentional possibility. What happens if instead we see these times not as the worst, but as the most demanding, the most healing, creative, and transformative, dare I say, evolutionary? We have lived for hundreds of thousands of years trying to master human creativity and destroyed a lot in the process. But now, in connection and awareness, we have every chance to go deeper in our human consciousness and human actions. I love you. I love each of you. In my 47 years in this ever-aging and becoming body, my spirit and soul believe that each of us are connected and traveling together and are inextricably linked and dependent upon each other. That is why it hurts so much for us to disagree about things. That is why we offend each other. Our physical separateness is illusory. In the Unitarian Universalist faith, in Christianity, in Buddhism, in the Muslim faith, in Native American spirituality, each of these faiths and many more share the same belief in common, and that is our interconnectedness, the interconnected web of life.